In this lesson, we'll look at how to fetch data from an external API. So I've gone ahead and researched the different APIs that we can use. This process should already have been done in the planning stage of your app. Okay, so came up with a couple of options here, and I'm settling for dictionary API, the dev, because we don't have to register and it's free. So we have the URL. With this URL, I can actually type in a word and get a response. So we're going to consume this API in our React application. We're going to do that with the help of a hook called the use effect. This is how we use it. It's a function. I'm going to pass in another function, and here I can pass in an array. It can be an empty array, and I can decide not to pass anything here. If I don't pass anything here, then this hook is going to be called every time there's a change, all the time. But I don't want that. If I want this to be called once, then I'm going to pass in an empty array. But we want this to be called each time the search term is set. So anytime there's a change here, so I'm going to pass in search term here. And then we're going to make use of fetch to call our API. Fetch is native to JavaScript, so I don't have to install any library to use it. I'm going to pass in the URL. I'm going to use what we call the backtick to pass in the input. I can pass in the search term. Now I'm going to call the then function and then undo the response. So if response is okay, then I'm going to console.log response.json, and let's see that in effect. Enter. So this is a promise. Now we want to return response.json, and then here we're going to get the actual data. Let's log the data. I don't need this one. Refresh. So now we have the data here, and yep. Once we get the data, I'm going to set search result here. So let's say set search result and then data. Okay, and let's go back here. Elegant, enter. Okay, so now we have the search result. It's not empty, so that's why this div is showing here, right? Because remember that early on we added a condition here. When search result is length is greater than 0, only then should we show the meaning component, and that's exactly what happened. So now we have our data. In the next lesson, we're going to explore the result and then use that to render our component here, the meaning and the definition. Quickly, let's also add a catch here. Okay, so let's catch in case there's an error. In case there's an error, I'm just gonna go ahead and log the error. Okay, nothing fancy.